Admiral Daeho Kim stood before the massive viewing window of Earth Defense Station Alpha. The blue marble of Earth spun slowly below him. Ships from dozens of alien worlds docked at the station every day. Trade vessels, diplomatic ships, and tourist transports filled the space lanes. Peace had lasted 40 years, but Daeho knew better than anyone that this peace was built on a lie. The communication panel beside him buzzed. His aide, Lieutenant Bong-Soo Han, approached with quick steps. "Admiral, Dr. Park is requesting an urgent meeting. She says the council session did not go well." Daeho nodded. He had expected this. The Galactic Council meeting on Centauri Prime had been about the strange signals from the Outer Rim. Signals that made his blood run cold. Dr. Hai-Jin Park entered the briefing room 10 minutes later. Her diplomatic robes hid the tension in her shoulders, but Daeho could see the worry in her eyes. They had worked together for 15 years. She was one of the few people who knew the truth about humanity. "The council dismissed our warnings," she said without greeting. "Ambassador Thelvio of the Altarian Union called us paranoid." The crystalline collective representative actually laughed. Daeho gestured for her to sit. The briefing room was simple and clean. No decorations. No signs of the massive military infrastructure hidden throughout human space. "Tell me everything," he said. Dr. Park activated the holographic display. Star charts filled the air between them. Red markers showed the locations of the strange signals. 3 weeks ago, our long-range sensors detected these energy signatures. They match no known technology in the galactic database. The pattern suggests systematic scanning of human colonies. She pointed to the Outer Rim worlds. New Seoul, Bizen Station, Daegu Colony. Each marker pulsed red. The energy readings are massive. Whatever's out there has technology that makes our public fleet look like toys. Daeho leaned forward. This was what he had feared for decades. "Did you tell the council about the energy levels?" "I tried. They said our sensors must be malfunctioning." The Vraxian delegate suggested we upgrade our primitive equipment. Daeho almost smiled. If only they knew what human sensors could really do. The door chimed. Captain Bio Ran Lee entered without waiting for permission. Her black uniform showed no rank insignia. Officially, she worked in shipping logistics. Unofficially, she commanded humanity's most classified military unit. "Admiral, we have confirmation. It's them." Dr. Park looked confused. "Them?" Daeho's face went hard. The Vrex Empire. The name meant nothing to most galactic citizens. The Vrex had vanished 3,000 years ago. Their empire had once covered half the galaxy. They had conquered, enslaved, or destroyed hundreds of species before mysteriously withdrawing to the dark spaces between stars. "How can you be sure?" Dr. Park asked. Captain Lee activated her own display. Ancient symbols appeared alongside the energy readings. "Our deep space reconnaissance teams found these markers on dead worlds in the Outer Rim. Vrex territorial marks. They're claiming our colonies as their property." Dr. Park stared at the symbols. As a xenobiologist, she knew the significance. The Vrex were not traitors or diplomats. They were conquerors who saw all other life as inferior. "The Council needs to know about this immediately," she said. "No," Daeho said quietly. "They won't believe us. And even if they did, they wouldn't act." "But Admiral, this threatens the entire galaxy. The Council will debate for months. They'll form committees and send fact-finding missions. By then, it will be too late." Captain Lee nodded. "The Vrex don't negotiate. They don't take prisoners. They expand or they die." Dr. Park felt a chill. She had spent her career promoting peace between species. Now she was learning about an enemy that knew only war. "What do we do?" she asked. Daeho stood and walked to the window. Below, he could see cargo ships from dozens of worlds. Alien crews worked alongside humans. Children from different species played together in the station's parks. 40 years of careful diplomacy had built this peaceful scene. "We prepare," he said. Quietly, he turned back to them. "Dr. Park, you must continue your diplomatic duties. The Council must see us as the same peaceful humans we've always appeared to be. No panic, no military buildups they can detect." "And the real preparations?" Captain Lee asked. "General Choi is already moving our reserve fleets to forward positions. We're calling it routine training exercises. The industrial worlds are increasing. Production. We're telling trade partners it's for infrastructure development." Dr. Park realized what he was saying. "How long have you been planning for something like this?" "Since the day we joined the Galactic Council," Daeho said. "We learned from Earth's history, peace through strength. But true strength must sometimes be hidden." The next 3 weeks passed quickly. Dr. Park returned to her diplomatic duties, but now she saw everything differently. The aliens who had seemed like friends now looked naive and unprepared. Their worlds had no real defenses. Their ships were built for trade, not war. Meanwhile, Captain Lee's teams reported more Vrex activity. Scout ships probed human defenses. Energy weapons tested the shields of outer colonies. The Vrex were learning human capabilities, or so they thought. On a Tuesday morning, the alarms began to sound. Daeho was in his command center when the report started coming in. Lieutenant Han's voice was steady despite the terrible news. "Admiral, we've lost contact with New Sol Colony. Last transmission indicated massive energy bombardment from unknown vessels. The main display showed the New Sol system. Where the colony world should have been, only debris remained. Casualties?" Daeho asked. 12 million people, sir. The entire colony." The command center fell silent. New Sol had been one of humanity's proudest achievements. A world where humans and aliens lived together in perfect harmony. Families, children, artists and scientists. And teachers. All gone. Dr. Park's image appeared on the communication screen. She was at the council chambers on Centauri Prime. Tears ran down her face. "Admiral, the council is expressing sympathy. They're calling it a tragic accident, some kind of stellar phenomenon." "An accident?" Captain Lee's voice was cold. 12 million people don't die in accidents. The council doesn't want to believe it was an attack, Dr. Park continued. They say there's no evidence of hostile forces in that sector. Daeho looked at the debris field where New Sol had been. His hands were steady, but his eyes burned with controlled fury. "Captain Lee, activate Protocol 7. It's time to begin the real preparations." "Finally," she said. "Dr. Park, continue your diplomatic duties. The Council must still see us as the peaceful species they expect. Let them believe we're grieving civilians who need their protection." He paused, looking at the faces of his officers. "But from this moment forward, we prepare for total war. The galaxy is about to learn something it has forgotten. Humans are not prey animals." The screen went dark. In the silence that followed, every person in the command center understood that everything had changed. The 40-year masquerade was about to end. The news of New Sol reached Earth within hours. Across human space, 12 billion people watched the footage of their destroyed colony. What had once been a thriving world with cities and farms was now nothing but floating debris and radiation. Admiral Daeho Kim stood in the emergency command center deep beneath Earth's surface. This facility did not exist in any official records. The Galactic Council believed humans conducted their military planning from the simple offices they had seen during diplomatic visits. Colonel Jin-Woo Park entered the chamber carrying classified reports. He was Dr. Park's younger brother, but his work was very different from her peaceful diplomacy. Jin-Woo specialized in psychological warfare and information control. "Admiral, the public reaction is exactly as we predicted. Anger is building across all human worlds. Our people want revenge. And the Council's response? Deho asked. Ambassador Thelveor sent a message of sympathy. The Crystalline Collective offered to help investigate the tragedy. The Zephyrian Federation suggested sending relief supplies to help with cleanup. Deho's jaw tightened. They still think it was an accident. Commander So-Young Kim approached from the intelligence station. Her screens showed data streams from across the galaxy. For 20 years, she had been building spy networks that reached into every major alien government. Admiral, I have updates from our deep reconnaissance teams. The Vrex have moved from scouting to active preparation. They're positioning battle fleets near 5 more human colonies. She activated the main display. Red markers showed Vrex forces surrounding Incheon Station, Gwangju World, Ulsan Mining Colony, Changwon Agricultural Hub, and Jeju Research Base. When will they strike? Colonel Park asked. Within days. The pattern matches historical Vrex tactics. Quick, overwhelming attacks designed to cause maximum terror. Admiral Deho studied the positions, 5 worlds. Nearly 20 million human lives. The Vrex were testing human resolve and galactic response. Commander Kim, what do our intelligence assets tell us about Vrex capabilities? Their ships are powerful but old. Technology from 3,000 years ago, but well maintained. Each vessel can destroy our publicly known ships with ease. However, compared to our actual fleet capabilities. She paused, choosing her words carefully. They are strong enough to destroy helpless colonies. They are not strong enough to fight the real human military. Dr. Kyung-Ho Lee entered the command center. As head of weapons development, he supervised humanity's most classified projects. His research facilities were hidden throughout human space, disguised as civilian manufacturing plants. Admiral, my teams have completed the final preparations. Our weapon systems are ready for deployment. What about secrecy? The Council cannot learn about our true capabilities yet. We have solutions for that problem. Weapons that will appear to be desperate defensive measures. Technology that looks primitive but works perfectly. Deho nodded. For 40 years, humanity had shown the galaxy only basic technology. Simple weapons, slow ships, limited industrial capacity. Every advanced system was hidden or disguised. Deception had been necessary. When humans first encountered alien civilizations, they discovered a galaxy where peaceful species were protected by stronger neighbors. Aggressive species were either controlled or destroyed by galactic coalitions. Humanity had learned to appear harmless while secretly becoming the strongest military force in known space. Admiral, Commander Kim interrupted. Priority transmission. From Captain Lee. Captain Bo Ran Lee's image appeared on the main screen. She was aboard what appeared to be a simple cargo vessel. In reality, it was one of humanity's most advanced warships, disguised to look like civilian transport. Admiral, the Vrex have begun their attacks. All 5 colonies are under assault. The screens filled with battle footage. Massive Vrex ships poured energy beams into human settlements. The attacks were brutal and systematic. No attempt to capture territory or resources. Pure destruction. Casualties. Deho asked, heavy on Incheon Station. They targeted civilian areas first. But Admiral, something interesting happened at Gwangju World. The display changed to show a different scene. A Vrex battle squadron was attacking what looked like defenseless human cargo ships. The human vessels appeared to be running in panic. Then everything changed. The cargo ships suddenly turned and opened fire. Weapons that looked like simple defensive lasers tore through Vrex armor like paper. The alien ships exploded in brilliant flashes. Captain, explain what happened. The Gwangju Defense Fleet used Protocol 7 weapons, sir. Disguised plasma cannons that appear to be standard cargo protection systems. The Vrex squadron was completely destroyed. Colonel Park leaned forward. What was the Vrex response? Confusion. Sir, Their communications show they cannot understand how human cargo ships destroyed their warships. They think it was some kind of defensive accident. Dr. Lee smiled. Perfect. The weapons performed exactly as designed. Devastating effectiveness disguised as lucky desperation. Commander Kim's screens flashed with new intelligence. Admiral, the galactic news networks are reporting the battles. The official story is that human civilian ships got lucky during defensive actions. And the Council's reaction? They're impressed by human courage but concerned about our safety. 3 Council members have offered to send peacekeeping fleets to protect human colonies. Admiral Deho almost laughed. The aliens wanted to protect humans from the Vrex. They had no idea that humanity was perfectly capable of protecting itself. What about the other colonies under attack? Captain Lee's report continued. Ulsan mining colony evacuated using our hidden transport network. What the Vrex found was an empty world rigged with industrial explosives. The entire mining operation detonated when their ships entered orbit. Brilliant. It will look like the miners destroyed their own equipment to deny it to the enemy. Changwon Agricultural Hub is implementing Defense Pattern 7. Their farming equipment is transforming into automated weapons platforms. The Vrex think they're fighting agricultural robots. And Jeju Research Base? Complete evacuation through hidden tunnels. The research facilities are now broadcasting false life signs, while the real population escaped to our hidden bunkers. General Tae-min Choi entered the command center. He had been coordinating the larger strategic response from his own classified facility. Admiral, all reserve fleets are in position. Operation Sleeping Giant is ready for activation. Dr. Parks. Transmission came through from the council chambers. Her diplomatic mask remained perfect, but her eyes showed pride in her species. Admiral, the council session was remarkable. They see humans as brave but helpless victims. Several species are competing to offer us protection and assistance. Perfect. Let them continue to underestimate us. There's more, sir. Ambassador Thelvero privately suggested that humans might consider relocating to safer sectors of the galaxy, away from these mysterious attacks. Colonel Park's expression darkened. They want us to run. Let them think we might, Admiral Deho said. Fear and desperation will be perfect cover for our real preparations. Over the next week, the attacks continued. The Vrex struck 12 more human colonies. Each attack followed the same pattern. Overwhelming force against seemingly helpless targets. But something strange kept happening. Human defenders fought back with unexpected effectiveness. Cargo ships destroyed warships. Civilian facilities exploded with suspicious timing. Agricultural worlds defended themselves with farming equipment that worked suspiciously well as weapons. The galactic media called it the miracle of human courage. Desperate people fighting impossible odds with whatever tools they could find. Only a few people knew the truth. Every human victory was carefully planned. Every weapon was precisely designed. Every defense was part of a strategy decades in the making. The Vrex were learning that humans were more dangerous than they appeared. But they still had no idea how much more dangerous. In his command center, Admiral Deho Kim watched the tactical displays. The enemy was strong, but they were fighting the war he wanted them to fight. Soon, it would be time to drop the mask. Completely. Commander Kim, send a message to all fleet commanders. Phase 2 begins tomorrow. The transformation of humanity from peaceful species to galactic superpower was about to accelerate. The emergency session of the Galactic Council began at dawn on Centauri Prime. Representatives from 47 species gathered in the Great Chamber to discuss the human crisis. What they did not expect was the message that arrived just as the session started. Dr. Hyejin Park stood at the human delegation podium. Her diplomatic robes were gone, replaced by a simple black uniform that no alien had seen before. Behind her, the massive display screen showed the official seal of the Human Defense Authority. "Honored representatives," she began, "humanity formally withdraws from the Galactic Council effective immediately." The chamber erupted in shocked voices. Ambassador Thel Voa of the Altarian Union stood quickly. "Dr. Park, surely this is an emotional response to your recent losses. The Council stands ready to help protect your species. We no longer require protection," Dr. Park replied calmly. "We require justice." Before any alien could respond, the display screen changed. A new image appeared that made several representatives gasp in fear. Admiral Su Jin Yoon stood on the bridge of a warship unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Sleek, massive, and bristling with weapons that radiated barely contained power. Behind her, dozens of similar ships hung in space like sleeping predators. "I am Admiral Yoon of the Human Ghost Fleet," she said. Her voice was cold and professional. "For 40 years, we have remained hidden while humanity learned about the galaxy. Today, we reveal ourselves." The alien representatives stared in confusion. Ghost Fleet meant nothing to them. They had never heard of Admiral Yoon. Their intelligence services had no record of human military vessels this advanced. "This is impossible," whispered the Crystalline Collective representative. "Our surveys show humans possess only basic defensive capabilities." Admiral Yoon smiled, and it was not a pleasant expression. "Your surveys saw exactly what we wanted you to see. Every human world you visited was carefully prepared. Every ship you examined was deliberately primitive. Every military facility you toured was designed to appear weak." On Earth, Admiral Daeho Kim watched the broadcast from his command center. After 40 years of pretending to be peaceful merchants and diplomats, humanity was finally showing its true face to the galaxy. "Admiral Yoon, begin the demonstration," he ordered. The display screen split to show multiple viewpoints. The Vrex Empire had gathered a massive battle fleet near the Kepler system, preparing to destroy 3 more human colonies. 200 warships, each one powerful enough to level entire worlds. What they found waiting for them changed everything. Admiral Yoon's Ghost Fleet emerged from hyperspace like a swarm of steel predators. The humans had been tracking Vrex movements for weeks, positioning their forces for this exact moment. "Vrex Command Vessel, this is Admiral Yoon of the Human Defense Force. You have committed genocide against our people. Surrender immediately or face total destruction." The Vrex response was exactly what every human had expected. Energy beams lanced out from their ships, targeting the human vessels. The beams struck human shields and simply vanished. Energy absorption. Technology that turned enemy weapons into power for human systems. "Pathetic," Admiral Yoon said. "Major Kim, deploy your forces." Major Dong Hyen Kim commanded something the galaxy had never imagined. Enhanced human soldiers who could survive in space without suits, move faster than alien eyes could track, and think with computer-assisted precision. His troops launched from hidden compartments on the human ships. To the Vrex, it looked like humans were throwing their soldiers into the vacuum of space to die. Instead, Major Kim's enhanced warriors landed on Vrex ships like living missiles. They tore through alien armor with their bare hands, disabled weapons, systems with impossible speed, and systematically captured vessel after vessel. How is this possible? The Vrex fleet commander transmitted, "Humans cannot survive in space." "Baseline humans cannot," Major Kim replied as he personally boarded the command ship. "We are not baseline humans anymore." Back in the council chamber, the alien representatives watched in growing horror as the battle unfolded. Human ships moved with impossible coordination. Their weapons fired with perfect accuracy. Their soldiers performed feats that violated everything the galaxy knew about human biology. Dr. Mi Young Cho's voice came through the transmission from her bioweapons laboratory. "Admiral Yoon, the atmospheric modification weapons are ready for deployment." "Proceed, Dr. Cho." Missiles launched from human ships towards several Vrex vessels. When they struck, nothing seemed to happen at first. Then Vrex soldiers began collapsing, as the air in their ships changed to something their lungs could not process. Bioweapons designed specifically for Vrex physiology, Dr. Cho explained to the terrified council. We have studied every species in this galaxy for decades. We know exactly how to neutralize any threat. The Battle of Kepler system lasted exactly 47 minutes. When it ended, the entire Vrex fleet was either destroyed or captured. Not a single human vessel had been seriously damaged. Admiral Yoon's image returned to the council display. Behind her, Vrex ships hung dead in space while human boarding parties secured them. Honored council members, she said with mock politeness, humanity wishes to make several things clear. She gestured, and new images appeared. Human shipyards that dwarfed anything the aliens had imagined. Industrial worlds producing weapons and ships at impossible rates. Military bases hidden throughout human space, each one capable of building fleets. First, we have been preparing for Galactic War since the day we made first contact. Every treaty we signed included secret clauses. Every trade agreement hid military purposes. Every diplomatic mission gathered intelligence. The Zephyrian Federation representative stood shakily. You have been deceiving us for 40 years? We have been surviving, Admiral Di-ho Kim said as he joined the transmission. Humanity learned long ago that in a dangerous universe, the weak are consumed by the strong. We chose to appear weak while becoming the strongest. Second, Admiral Yoon continued, we have detailed files on every species in this council. Your military capabilities, your industrial capacity, your biological weaknesses, and your strategic resources. We know how to defeat each of you if necessary. Several aliens began to leave the chamber. They had heard enough. Third, the Vrex Empire will be completely dismantled. Every world they control will be liberated. Every ship they possess will be destroyed or captured. Every weapon they have built will be turned against them. And finally, Admiral Kim said, humanity offers the galaxy a choice. Stand with us against the Vrex threat or remain neutral. But understand this clearly: opposition to human military action will be considered an act of war. The transmission ended, leaving the council chamber in stunned silence. On the edges of human space, more ghost fleet ships emerged from hidden bases. Vessels that had been built in secret for decades, crewed by humans who had trained their entire lives for this moment. Captain Bu Oram Lee led a special operations fleet toward the heart of Vrex territory. Her mission was simple but terrifying: capture or kill every Vrex military commander. No prisoners unless they surrendered immediately. Dr. Kyung-ho Lee's weapons appeared throughout human space. Orbital platforms that could destroy entire fleets. Planetary defense systems that made worlds nearly invulnerable. Space mines that could track and destroy any ship that entered human territory without permission. The galaxy was learning a terrible truth. For 40 years, they had shared space with a species that could have conquered them all at any time. Humanity had chosen peace, but they had never been peaceful. General Taemin Choi activated the final phase of Operation Sleeping Giant. Across 200 human worlds, hidden military facilities came online. The true size of human industrial and military power revealed itself like a sleeping dragon opening its eyes. Within hours, every major galactic government received the same message. Humanity has revealed its true nature to end the Vrex threat. We seek no conquest beyond ensuring our survival. But never again will we hide our strength. Never again will we allow genocide against our people. The galaxy has been warned. In the depths of space, Admiral Yoon's fleet began its journey toward Vrex Prime. Behind them came the largest human military force ever assembled. Ships that could shatter worlds, weapons that could boil atmospheres, and soldiers who had been trained to fight gods. The masquerade was over. The galaxy would never be the same. Fleet Admiral Wu Jinhan stood in the war room beneath Earth's surface. Around him, holographic displays showed the entire galaxy. Red markers indicated Vrex Empire territories. Blue markers showed human forces moving into position. What the Kimundiu display revealed would have terrified every alien government in known space. For 3 weeks since the Battle of Kepler system, humanity had been moving fleets through hyperspace. Not hundreds of ships, not thousands. Tens of thousands of warships emerged from hidden bases throughout human territory. "Admiral," reported Commander Eunji Lee from her orbital command platform, "all strike groups are in position. Operation Apex Predator is ready to begin." Admiral Han nodded. Apex Predator was humanity's answer to genocide. Simultaneous strikes against 50 Vrex worlds designed to cripple their empire in a single coordinated assault. "Dr. Park, are your AI systems ready?" Dr. Jae-hyun Park looked up from his computer arrays. Unlike his diplomatic relatives, Ji-hyun had spent 20 years developing artificial intelligence systems that could wage war across multiple star systems. Simultaneously, all AI combat networks are active, Admiral. We have complete infiltration of Vrex communication systems, navigation networks, and defensive computers. When we strike, they will be blind and confused. On the other side of the galaxy, Admiral Su Jin-yoon's Ghost Fleet approached the outer defenses of Vrex Prime. Heart of the ancient empire was protected by massive orbital fortresses and defense platforms that had never been conquered. "Admiral Yoon," came the transmission from Admiral Han, "you may begin the siege when ready." Yoon smiled as she watched the Vrex defenses activate. Energy shields that could stop entire fleets, weapons platforms that could destroy planets. Automated defense systems built by a civilization that had conquered half the galaxy. "Major Kim," she ordered, "deploy the new armor units." Major Dong-hyun Kim's enhanced soldiers had received another upgrade. Powered armor that made them nearly invulnerable, weapons that could pierce any known defense, and neural interfaces that let them think and react faster than any biological mind. But this time, they were not alone. Combat robots emerged from human ships by the thousands. Not crude mechanical soldiers, but sophisticated war machines guided by Dr. Park's AI systems. Each robot was designed for a specific purpose. Some specialized in breaking through fortifications. Others hunted enemy soldiers through corridors and tunnels. The Vrex defenders had never seen anything like them. "Impossible," transmitted the Vrex Fortress commander. "Our intelligence showed humans possess only basic robotics." "Your intelligence was 40 years out of date," Major Kim replied as his forces landed on the fortress surfaces. "We have been busy." Back on Earth, Admiral Han watched the battle displays with satisfaction. Every Vrex world was under attack. Simultaneously, their empire, which had seemed invincible just weeks ago, was collapsing under coordinated human assault. Commander Lee's orbital bombardment platforms demonstrated why humanity had spent decades mining asteroids and building hidden industrial complexes. Her weapons could crack continents or precisely destroy single buildings depending on the mission requirements. "Commander Lee, what is the status of Vrex secondary worlds?" 12 major industrial planets have surrendered, Admiral. 23 military bases have been captured intact. The Vrex are losing their ability to build new ships or train new soldiers. Dr. Park's AI systems were proving devastatingly effective. Vrex commanders found their orders being changed by their own computers. Supply ships received navigation data that sent them into human ambushes. Defense platforms turned their weapons on each other as their targeting systems were compromised. "Dr. Park, show me the cyber warfare results." "Complete success, Admiral. We control 70% of Vrex computer networks. Their military cannot coordinate between different sectors." Most of their fleet commanders believe they are fighting separate human forces instead of one coordinated campaign. The genius of human strategy was becoming clear. While the Vrex had spent 3,000 years in isolation, humanity had developed technologies and tactics specifically designed for galactic warfare. Every system had been tested. Every weapon had been perfected. Admiral Yoon's assault on Vrex Prime revealed the true scale of human preparation. Her ships deployed weapons that the galaxy had never imagined. Gravity manipulators that crushed enemy vessels. Energy drains that left Vrex weapons powerless. Temporal disruptors that made enemy ships exist slightly out of phase with normal space. How do we fight enemies who control time itself? Asked the Vrex fortress commander. You do not, Admiral Yoon replied. You surrender, but the Vrex refused to surrender. Their ancient culture knew only conquest or death. So humanity gave them death. Commander Lee's orbital platforms began their systematic destruction of Vrex military infrastructure. Not random bombardment, but precise elimination of every weapon factory, every shipyard, every training facility across 50 worlds. Admiral Han, she reported, Vrex industrial capacity is down to 15% of pre-war levels. They cannot replace their losses. Meanwhile, Captain Bo-Ram Lee led her special operations forces in missions that legends would be made of. Her teams infiltrated Vrex command centers, captured their generals, and retrieved intelligence that revealed every secret the ancient empire possessed. Captain Lee reporting. Came her transmission from deep within Vrex territory. We have captured the Vrex High Command. Their strategic databases are in our possession. The information they found changed everything. The Vrex Empire was not just ancient and powerful, it was desperate. Their species was dying from a genetic plague that had been slowly killing them for millennia. Their attacks on human colonies were not just conquest. They were searching for new genetic material to save their race. Dr. Mi Young Cho studied the Vrex biological data from her laboratory. Admiral, the Vrex condition is terminal. Their species has perhaps 50 years before complete extinction. Does this change our strategy? Admiral Han asked. No, sir. Desperation makes them more dangerous, not less. A dying species with their military power could destroy the entire galaxy before they expire. The siege of Vrex Prime lasted 6 days. When it ended, the heart of the ancient empire was in human hands. Admiral Yoon's forces had captured or destroyed every major Vrex installation, while suffering minimal losses. But the real demonstration of human power came when other galactic governments tried to intervene. The Altarian Union sent a fleet to mediate between humans and Vrex. They arrived to find human ships waiting for them. This is Admiral Han of the Human Defense Force, came the transmission. You will withdraw immediately or be treated as hostile forces. Admiral Han, we come in peace. The Galactic Council has authorized us to negotiate a ceasefire. The Galactic Council has no authority over human military operations. You have 30 seconds to begin withdrawal. The Altarian fleet commander hesitated. His ships outnumbered the human vessels 3-1. Surely humans would not attack a peaceful intervention force. 29 seconds later, the Altarian flagship found itself surrounded by human vessels that had seemingly appeared from nowhere. Stealth technology that made ships invisible until they chose to reveal themselves. Withdraw now, Admiral Han repeated, or discover why the Vrex Empire fell in 3 weeks. The Altarians withdrew. Similar scenes played out across the galaxy as other species learned that humanity meant exactly what they said. Opposition to human operations would be treated as an act of war. Dr. Park's AI systems spread throughout galactic networks, gathering intelligence on every species, every government, and every military force. Information that would let humanity anticipate and counter any future threat. Admiral, Dr. Park reported, We now have complete intelligence profiles on all major galactic powers. If any of them choose to oppose us, we can defeat them before they finish mobilizing." The transformation was complete. In less than a month, humanity had gone from apparent victims to unquestioned galactic superpower. Their technology was decades ahead of anything else in known space. Their military could destroy entire empires. Their intelligence networks reached into every alien government. But the most terrifying thing for other species was the realization that humans had been capable of this all along. For 40 years, they had shared the galaxy with a species that could have conquered them at any time. Admiral Han looked at the tactical displays, showing human forces positioned throughout Vrex territory. The ancient empire was broken. Their fleets were destroyed. Their worlds were occupied. Their high command was captured. "Begin Phase 5, he ordered. "Time to end this war permanently." The final assault on the remaining Vrex strongholds would demonstrate why humanity had chosen the name Operation Apex Predator. In nature, apex predators did not simply defeat their prey. They eliminated threats to their survival completely and permanently. The galaxy was about to learn what total victory looked like when achieved by a species that had evolved from Earth's most successful hunters. The Great Chamber of the Galactic Council had been rebuilt on Earth. President In-Ho Kim stood at the podium where alien representatives once dismissed human concerns. Now those same aliens sat in silence, waiting to hear humanity's terms for the new galactic order. 3 months had passed since the Vrex Empire's complete surrender. What had once been the galaxy's most feared civilization was now a collection of occupied worlds under human administration. The ancient empire that had terrorized countless species for millennia had fallen in exactly 43 days. President Kim looked out at the assembled representatives. Fear and respect filled their eyes in equal measure. The galaxy had learned what happened when humanity dropped their peaceful mask. "Honored representatives," he began, "we gather today to establish new principles for galactic civilization. The age of hidden threats and casual genocide is over." Behind him, Admiral the Jin Park commanded the new human defense fleet that patrolled every sector of known space. Her ships moved through hyperspace with technology that let them respond to any threat within hours. No species would ever again face extinction while humanity watched. "The first principle is simple," President Kim continued. "Any species that attempts genocide against any other species will face immediate human intervention. This is not a threat. This is a promise." Ambassador Sang-Woo Lee sat with the alien representatives. His new diplomatic corps included members from every major species, but humans held ultimate authority. The galaxy had voted humanity into leadership not from choice, but from necessity. "Mr. President," asked the Altarian representative carefully, "what about species sovereignty? What about the right of civilizations to govern themselves?" "Every species retains full sovereignty within their borders," President Kim replied. "But genocide is no longer an internal matter. Mass murder has become a galactic crime with galactic consequences." The display screens around the chamber showed the current state of former VREX worlds. Human administrators worked alongside local populations to rebuild shattered civilizations. The genetic plague that had been killing the Vrex was being cured by human medical teams. Former slave species were being given their own worlds to govern. Dr. Hai Jin Park spoke from her position as Director of Interspecies Relations. "The Vrex people themselves have embraced the new order. When we offered them survival without conquest, they chose to live in peace." This was perhaps the most shocking development. The ancient warrior species that had known only battle for 3,000 years had adapted to peaceful existence within months. Human psychologists had discovered that Vrex aggression was partly biological and partly cultural. Both could be modified with proper treatment. Commander So Young Kim reported from her intelligence networks that now span the entire galaxy. All major species have accepted human protection protocols. 17 minor species have requested direct human administration for security purposes. The transformation had been remarkably peaceful. Once other civilizations understood that humanity could destroy them easily but chose not to, cooperation became the obvious choice. Fear had given way to grateful acceptance of human protection. What about military matters? Asked the crystalline collective representative. Will humans allow other species to maintain their own defense forces? Admiral Park answered through the communication system. Every species may maintain defensive forces appropriate to their needs. However, offensive military buildups will be monitored and regulated. The galaxy has seen enough wars. The monitoring was thorough but not oppressive. Human AI systems tracked military production, weapon development, and fleet movements throughout known space. Any species building forces beyond defensive needs received immediate diplomatic contact to discuss their intentions. Most species discovered they no longer needed large militaries. With humanity guaranteeing security against external threats, resources could be redirected toward peaceful development. Trade flourished. Scientific collaboration increased. Cultural exchange reached unprecedented levels. President Kim activated the holographic display to show humanity's new galactic infrastructure. Space stations at strategic points throughout the galaxy. Rapid response fleets positioned to reach any system within hours. Communication networks that connected every civilization in real time. This is the human defense grid, he explained. It ensures that no species will ever again face the choice between slavery and extinction. The cost had been enormous, but humanity had proven capable of bearing it. Human industrial capacity now exceeded the rest of the galaxy combined. Human technology continued advancing at rates that amazed alien scientists. Human population was growing rapidly as improved genetics and medical care extended lifespans. Mr. President, the Zephyrian Federation representative asked, what prevents humanity from becoming the next conquerors? Your power exceeds anything the galaxy has ever seen. President Kim smiled, because we learn from Earth's history. Power without restraint leads to destruction. We have built safeguards into our own systems. The safeguards were real and comprehensive. Human leadership rotated regularly through democratic elections. Military commanders served fixed terms and reported to civilian authority. AI systems were programmed with ethical constraints that prevented them from targeting innocent populations. Most importantly, humanity's expansion focused on protection rather than conquest. New human colonies were established only in uninhabited systems. Existing species territories were respected absolutely. Human influence grew through invitation and cooperation, not force. Ambassador Lee presented the final element of the new order. We call it the Never Again Doctrine. Every species in this galaxy now lives under humanity's protection. Genocide becomes impossible. Slavery becomes extinct. Aggressive conquest becomes a crime against all civilization. The implementation had been swift and thorough. Human forces had intervened in 17 conflicts during the past 3 months. Each intervention followed the same pattern. Overwhelming force deployed with surgical precision. Aggressors neutralized quickly and completely. Victims protected and compensated. Peace restored within days. 5 years later, President Kim stood in his office overlooking New Geneva City. The galactic capital had grown from a small human settlement into a thriving metropolis where dozens of species lived and worked together. Admiral Park's fleets continued their patrols, but now they were welcomed wherever they appeared. Human ships brought trade, protection, and assistance. Children from different species played together in parks. Scientists collaborated on projects that benefited everyone. The Vrex homeworld had become a center of learning where former warriors studied philosophy, art, and peaceful sciences. Their natural strategic thinking proved valuable for logistics and planning. When redirected toward constructive purposes, Dr. Park's interspecies programs had created the most diverse and cooperative galactic civilization in recorded history. Languages were shared, cultures blended, technologies combined in ways that advanced every field of knowledge, but the most important change was invisible. Fear had been removed from galactic relations. No species worried about sudden attack or gradual conquest. Children grew up expecting to live their entire lives in peace. Commander Kin's intelligence reports showed crime rates dropping across the galaxy. When survival was guaranteed and opportunity was available, most conflicts simply disappeared. Even traditional enemies found ways to cooperate under human guidance. "Sir," asked his aide, "do you think the Never Again doctrine will hold permanently?" President Kim watched a group of young humans training in the Defense Academy courtyard. Below, they learned both diplomacy and warfare, preparing for whatever challenges the future might bring. "Nothing lasts forever," he replied, "but we have built something strong. Our children will inherit a galaxy where genocide is impossible, where the strong protect the weak, and where no species faces extinction alone." He thought about the long journey from New Sol's destruction to this moment of galactic peace. Humanity had revealed its true nature not from desire for conquest, but from absolute refusal to accept extinction. "The mask is gone forever," he continued. "The galaxy knows what we are capable of. They also know what we choose to do with that capability. Sometimes the greatest strength is knowing when not to use your power." In the distance, human ships launched toward the galactic rim where exploration teams searched for new civilizations to welcome into the growing community of protected species. Each new contact followed humanity's established pattern: offer friendship first, demonstrate strength if necessary, protect the innocent always. The transformation was complete. Humanity had evolved from hidden prey to apex protector. The galaxy would never again mistake kindness for weakness or diplomacy for helplessness. Most importantly, no species would ever again face the horror of genocide while others watched in silence. The promise had been kept. Never again.